So I had this idea to build a tiny custom maze, but instead of the normal ball, I wanted to use a droplet of mercury to navigate the paths. And I imagined a smooth, flowing liquid. But as you can see, it really didn't turn out quite how I had hoped. Now, it was supposed to be a really simple project, but apparently the mercury had other plans for my project that made it a lot more difficult than I thought. Come on. So how did I go from an annoying little sphere to this? This is a story of how a frustrating failure led to a surprisingly satisfying solution. Custom maze. No ball bearings. Mercury. Not the planet, just the metal. Okay, so when I first came up with this idea, I didn't realize that it existed as a toy in the 70s. Save times. My goal was to build something smaller and not mass-produced. I also wanted to put time into learning and using my CNC router. So I ran into a ton of problems with the router as I was getting it set up, which extended the project by about 4 times. But that's another story for another time. Okay, so there's nothing groundbreaking about the maze itself. I really just wanted something small and unique that I could carry around or put on a keychain. So I came up with a basic design in CAD based off of this image, and then I ran some toolpaths for my router off of that. My initial plan was to make several versions of the same maze, but out of different materials. And this is when I hit my first big problem. The maze was about 40 millimeters in diameter, and the width of the paths was only about 80 thousandths of an inch or 2 millimeters wide. Here's why that narrow path is such a problem. When the mercury goes in there, that surface tension makes it just ball up, and it doesn't even look like mercury. It just looks like a small steel ball. And to me, that totally defeats the purpose of using mercury. Alright, so version 1 was about 40 millimeters in diameter, and it didn't work well. So my solution was to scale this up. I moved up to 80 millimeters in diameter, and each of the paths moved to a 1/4 inch or a little over 6 millimeters wide. I decided to focus all of my effort on just a single material for the larger maze. I thought that going with clear acrylic would really make the mercury pop, and it would just look cool to have a clear maze. Well, it came out of the clamps, but I think it's mostly good. Let's see if we can salvage it. Let's turn it down. Okay, almost there. Cleaned up that edge a lot. Go a little bit more. And finally, I cut these covers for the larger maze because of course we don't want the mercury getting out. But wait, we still need some mercury, and that's not exactly easy to find. So after a little while of brainstorming, I came up with a semi-reputable source.
A few moments later.
I drove over to go pick it up. I'll try not to get it all over your keyboard, okay?
Thanks.
I think we're good. Oh, that feels very heavy.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Finally, after far too long, I had all of the parts I needed to put this maze together. And finally, we have the finished product. Okay, I think there's a pretty dramatic difference between these mazes. The larger maze, you can really see that mercury flowing and spreading out, and that's exactly what I was going for. So I think this is a successful project. And there you have it, a maze that actually uses mercury as the ball, or I should say, the fluid. It was a journey of trial and error, one that took far too long, and I learned that sometimes bigger is better, especially when it comes to a mercury maze. Now remember, while this maze does look pretty cool, mercury is hazardous, so don't touch it, eat it, or give it to your pets, and you'll be okay.